Happy Monday night, DQOMers. This is Delco After Dark. You've got the wonderful, magnificent, slightly injured Carl Kid Park behind the board tonight, producing our show. And I will be your lovely host or co-host, Frankie Biscuits. Welcome, Carl.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing?
Hanging in there. I heard you had a spill on your bicycle over the weekend.
I did, but we gotta draw that story out over the course of the hour. At least, well, maybe not the whole hour, but
we're jumping to conclusions already. But yeah, that's a big. How else was your weekend? You had a nice trip to the Northern Shore.
I did. Let me read what. Hello, friends. Woo. Hey, everybody out there. Feel free to give us a shout to make sure that our levels are okay. You know, I don't want to go through half the show. Yeah, I went to the upper shore of the Chesapeake Bay.
Chesapeake, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's way up on the upper shore where the Elk River meets the Chesapeake. So here's the nice thing about it. It's only 60 miles away. So we have a cottage down there. We've had it since I think 48. Wow. So boom, you just I feel like going down the beach. Boom, you're there. And all you got to do is take down whatever the cost of it, since we own it, is just you go down with the stuff you buy at Acme, and then you spend however long you want down there.
How are the tolls? Do you have a lot of tolls you hit through to get to?
I purposely avoid the tolls.
Nice.
I go down 95, 896, and then I think 213, and go over Summit Bridge, and then go down there. There's some good biking trails down there, but I don't think I'm going to be hitting them anytime soon because I can't really walk.
So you haven't even been using your legs. You've just been hanging out on your ass. Oh man,
I can hobble. I can hobble like an old man. Like I was doing something for Mom the other day, and she had her little not a scooter thing, but that old people thing that you push around, and I was like, hey, this thing kind of works pretty well. I was like, maybe this is my future.
Oh man.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't ride a bicycle. I rode my bicycle a little bit, but I didn't fall off the damn thing. But
Well, this is a common occurrence for me. Apparently, my friend.
Oh man.
My friend Tim says that they need to get me a seatbelt. This happens. When you get old, you lose balance and you run into cars and shit, or off of into cricks. Because Eddie will tell you that story if he comes back around. But what did you do this weekend?
I went to my mom's house and we had a little. She made pizza. We had some pizza, and saw my brother and his fiance. He just got engaged. John Paul just got engaged. I don't know if you know that.
No kidding. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she picked a date. Nice place in Malvern, October 21. So, and Mary Margaret, she's a very nice girl. So it's a nice addition to our family. And my brother James just got married in November. John Paul will be married if all this goes through, as it should, October 21. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I think I like a fall wedding. I like fall anything. I just like fall. What's your favorite season?
Yeah, fall's nice. I mean, especially Pennsylvania with all the foliage. Spring, I mean, that's the allergy season. I got terrible allergies. Like right now I'm suffering because of just this recirculating air, it kills my voice. But yeah, I think fall. Yeah, fall's good. I like the Indian summers that we sometimes get over here in Pennsylvania. They're the tits.
Is that what the kids call it these days?
I think that's what we call it in Delco, the tits.
Well, we are Delco. I don't know. It's funny. I got a snowblower about 2 or 3 years ago. I got it as a present, and it was given to me because they were afraid that I would have a heart attack shoveling snow. They're like, well, you're at the age now where people die shoveling the snow, and I was just like, well, thanks so much for the confidence. But I got to be honest, I'm eager to use it, but there's no goddamn snow. I mean, there was like a dusting. There's like one great big storm about 2 years ago. I remember it stopped traffic, and they didn't even see that one coming. It's either, oh my God, Snowmageddon, and we all fear for it, and then it doesn't happen, or there's nothing, and we all get stuck at like 5 o'clock coming home. And I am not a fan.
Nope.
Yeah, we definitely haven't gotten any good snow in quite some time. It's been a while since we've seen any good, I mean, I've seen a lot of dustings, I think, over the last year. And then, I think we had some stuff 2 years ago, but like, yeah, it's been a minute since we saw some good snow. I feel like talking about snow in July over here. Or June.
Well, I mean, it's literally a dusting. I mean, it's literally, you go, hey, look at that, it snowed. I'll take a broom. If you can sweep off your walk,
it just disappears. Yeah.
That ain't snow. That's just a what do you call it? I'm reading some of the comments.
It's an insignificant speck. Yeah, I'm trying to find the comments. Honestly, I've been struggling.
And that's another thing. Let's as singer-songwriters, let's discuss the comments while you're playing for a half a second. Why do you have to sort of prime that first one in order for it to and everyone who's done this knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you're sitting there and it's not doing anything. So
you gotta like refresh it.
And then you like pull it down and then it kicks in. So for your first song, you're always like, well, I guess nobody's listening at all or gives a shit, but then it slowly picks up speed. But I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it does some goofy stuff. I mean, it's half the time you don't even see some of the comments. Like after it refreshes, like it's like, okay, so I'm going to show you selective comments. Somebody might have said something better than it's like, I don't know what it's picking. Like it's like the algorithm that's picking, And I feel like I feel like I got to try the vertical video because I feel like that has a better engagement on the Facebook algorithm than the horizontal videos.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that at all.
I'm going to give it a shot because I've been seeing the other groups in my feed and the vertical videos are more prominent. And I feel like on a mobile, at least, it's going to serve you a vertical video. Nobody's really holding their phone like that. Everybody's holding it like this. So I haven't messed with that socially distant fest, but you might see a vertical video in social distant fest or one of those groups coming from me soon.
Oh, that'd be interesting. It would be interesting to see if the views are any different, or any.
You got to have like my last video was very the angle was bad, so like you got to have a good angle. So if you're right up on it,
you got to be like,
yeah. This angle's not too bad.
No, that's fine. I think. Yeah, Ned and I did one. I think on Saturday. Before I got crippled. Before I was crushed or whatever. You should see the other guy. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. I thought it was a car you hit.
That's what I'm saying. It was funny. I'll just sprinkle a little piece of information. It was funny. The girl's husband who saw the car went, "The fuck bike did he hit with this?" It was like, was it a motorcycle? Nah, it was just my head. It was just my head and my bike. But before that, when I was still having a nice weekend, and the weekend was still pretty good. Ned and I played for a little bit on Socially Distant, but
I caught some of that. I was listening to that.
Yeah, but once more, I mean, you and I've talked about it before, and you've done it as well. The amount of testing that you do to get the sound as good as you possibly can. I mean, I've done it probably I've done like 30, at least 30 tests, and sometimes you'll see me like test 67, test 68. They're more for video stuff with this, but it took me the longest time to get it. So when we went down and just used a laptop, I knew it was going to sound like, okay. Because there's this weird flanging effect, and some of you know what I'm talking about, that Facebook does. It's when they compress it and float it out there, it compresses it and creates this weird flange. Sometimes you'll be playing guitar and vocals, and then all of a sudden the guitar will disappear. I don't know if you've experienced it, but I sure as shit have. It's all of a sudden you're out there on your own. It's the weirdest shit.
Yeah, Facebook does some really weird. You know what? I was hearing I heard the thunderstorm coming through on your when you were, as that front came through, you heard that,
that's pretty cool.
You heard the vacuum, it's like, and then it started really getting, a little bit windy, but was that pre-accident or post-accident?
Yes, that was pre-accident. It was. Wow. And unfortunately, because of the aperture, I guess you couldn't see the fact that the upper shore of the Chesapeake Bay was behind me. My brother, his main living area is on the second floor. So, in between us was, it looked right out onto the bay with Turkey Point, which is about a couple miles away, and there's a lighthouse on there. It's picturesque, it's really, really, really beautiful down there. Now on the far side, beyond that, is a place called Aberdeen, which is the proving grounds for the military. They take tanks over there and mortars and stuff like that. And when they shoot off a tank, the dishes rattle, and we're talking it's on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay, so it's got to travel through
In Maryland. That's Maryland,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very loud, very loud, and you think it's thunder. You're like, oh, there's thunder coming in. No, wait a minute. Nope, it's just another tank.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a house on the Chesapeake. It's a rental, and you look out the backyard and you see the island with the horses on it.
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I'm talking about?
No, well, when you say that, I think of Shinkatink, but it's not Shinkatink.
That might be it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. And it's all the native horses that just run around, and they're like wild horses.
Oh, that's a song, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Good one. I like actually the Sundays cover of that their version.
The Sundays cover Wild Horses? No shit. Wow.
And the audio on that, probably you will approve.
I did not know. See, the Sundays did. Their opening album was Reading, Writing, Arithmetic, right? Back in like '93 or '4, I'm thinking. Like,
I'm not deep into them, but I know that song, and I've heard a lot of people talk about how if you can find a free lossless audio version of the Sundays Wild Horses, like that is like phonically, it's a really good experience.
Oh yeah, I got big into them on their debut album for a little while. They had they didn't sound exactly like Edie Brickell, but you could be like, this could absolutely be Edie Brickell. But that's a long time ago.
I found the comments finally. I had to I can't put it on one screen. Like I have to have the Zoom and the Facebook. So, oh man.
Well, and you got to remember, I've got Zoom over on this side because I have a second monitor at this point because I have a 34 ultra wide, so I have Zoom and then Streamlabs and then the camera input and actually I don't have Facebook up anymore. I was telling you during the break that I don't even have to have it up because of the Streamlabs. But anyway, all my screens are filled too.
Wow, yeah, amazing over here. Did you get a chance to tune into anybody on the DQOM tonight?
Tonight, no, I was busy rewriting some of the stuff for the.
I thought you were listening to Bill. I thought I saw you.
A little bit. I listened to a little bit, but I'm not going to say, I listened to all this stuff. Yeah, I listened a little bit while I was working on stuff. But he always knocks it out of the park, man.
Yeah, that was cool to see him chime in. He wanted to play first, and then I caught a little bit of Eric. He was playing mandolin. He played after Bill.
Did you ever try to play mandolin?
Yes. I would rather play the ukulele than the mandolin.
It's fucking impossible. I don't know how they do it. It's like I got it. The one that my ex-wife got me back in the day was like a lute. It was like a lute style. So it was like maybe this big, and I just my fingers could not do it. It was nuts.
It's different than a 12-string, huh?
Oh yeah, way different. You know what's funny is, and I don't understand exactly why this happened. So when I went down and I was playing with Ned, I had my Martin. I had my 6-string Martin, which I don't really play that much. You know me, I'm known for the 12. So you figure like 12 will tear the shit out of you, and 6 will be like, oh, this will be a piece of cake. It was exactly the opposite. When I was done with the 6, I was hurting. So I'm like, this doesn't. You don't think it would make sense? You think the 12 would kill you and the 6 would be easy? But for me, it's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I got my 12-string Fender, man, and it's the same thing. I mean, I feel like if you have old strings, that will definitely kill your fingers. But on the 12-string, yeah, they play sometimes. They're light strings. They play pretty nice.
Yeah, I remember. Let's go back in time for a minute. Let me see if I have a "Let's go back in time" sound effect. Yeah, we have sound effects now. Theoretically, you should be able to hear them as well as like I got Homer.
Listen, shut up for a second.
And like a tension moment. So when we ask people the top 5, we can go like this. Okay, what is your top 5 favorite places to take a dump? I don't know. It could be anything like that. It doesn't really matter. Problem is, I don't know how long they go. This could go for the next half hour. Oh, there it goes. But anyway, so what I was going for was, I remember a time about what was it, Frank? About 10 years ago, when you entered that contest for NBC, and we got on the NBC morning show, you and me.
Yes, on the 10 show.
Yeah, on the 10 show. So how did that happen exactly? You just sent him in a demo?
They had a commercial on television. And I always watch the 11 o'clock news on NBC. And the commercial was like, send in your YouTube video. So they only had 150 submissions. They weren't happy with the turnout. Like they wanted a lot more. So they picked 30 and sent 30 to the Six Flags. That was when Six Flags was going out of business. So they were going through bankruptcy and they needed something to draw a crowd. So this was, let's put this on television live from Six Flags in Jackson, New Jersey. So yeah, we went out. Well, I think I went out there the first time by myself.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you went out to Six Flags before. Yeah. Oh, wow. I forgot this part of the story.
It was like a 3-part thing that summer of 2009. So the first time it was just me, and I met a bunch of people that I knew through like the Delco music scene. I met like Tony Cedrone, who he's funny. He's like a Utah. He was a meteorologist, not meteorologist. I'm sorry, news anchor in Utah. Believe it or not, it might be an NBC affiliate out there. But I saw him out there. Saw a bunch of the bands that I, would even come across. I'm trying to think. They were called I think they're called Bel Air now. I forget their original name. But a couple brothers from that band, I met. I saw them again at Six Flags. It was cool. That first time, they told me, the judges were Helen Light from XPN. We had Kevin Haggins, who was an R&B producer from Philly, and then the other guy, I can't remember his name, from Walmart Jingles.
I don't know.
They pretty much all said I needed a band, so we came back with the band. That's why I was like, Carl.
And
John DiDonato.
Yeah, we brought him out the once we went back to
John Paul. And John Paul was there.
And who's the
and Dick Collier, he was the drummer.
Yeah.
So that was the second time we went to that was at Jackson, New Jersey, and then we had a vignette. The vignette was at Monument Road in Bala Cynwyd. That was at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
That was the 10-minute. If you Google Frank Biscotti 4, that's what we called the name of the quintet.
Now, do you remember? Do you remember who was in the green room with us for like five minutes or so?
I mean, I know Gary was there. Gary had to bring the drum set because they promised me drum set. The drum set wasn't there. Gary brought a drum set for us, and he just got done a cross-country trip. He just drove straight from California. So we got him to drive from Brookhaven with the drum shells so that Nick could play the drums. It was a crazy day. But who else was there?
Bobcat Goldthwait. He was on the show that morning. He went on right before us.
Huh.
So that was kind of cool. I'm like,
Who's that?
He was in. I know so many friends of mine, and I can do a lot of impressions, but I can't do Bobcat. He was in like One Crazy Summer. He was in all the Police Academy movies. He's like the crazy guy with the crazy hair.
I remember that. Yeah, I was doing too much shit that day. I couldn't remember.
You were all over the place, and then we had to set up and then play the stuff, and then we ended up eating across the street. I think it was a great day.
Yeah, we went to. I remember the California Pizza Kitchen for whatever reason. You remember the food, But yeah, I remember. That was a really memorable experience. My whole family got to be there and sit front row, watch me on television. Yeah, Frank Biscotti 4. If you Google that, if you want to watch that video, guys.
And then they brought you back. And then they brought you back again to what do you call it? To to Six Flags. So you did Six Flags first, then
3 times at Six Flags, and then one time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they got a lot out of it. They got a lot, and it's the first one they had, like they were zooming, cutting to me on the on the exit to commercial break and stuff. Like my family was watching at home. They're like they're making it seem like you're going to win this thing. I was on so much. I got so much television footage compared to some of the other people. I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good time. That was a fun time. Doesn't feel like 10 years ago. Feels like we just did it.
Yeah, it was 11 years ago, man. 2009. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember I had my red Dodge Dakota pickup truck, and we put John Paul's upright bass in it to get him to Jackson, New Jersey. We were going down the expressway and that thing. Oh, that was crazy.
Well, I had my I was probably driving my minivan because I was a professional dad at that point. So I had my keyboard in the minivan. I was there playing like a B3 Hammond sample for Now. I think we did Now, right? That's the one.
Yeah, I did Now all the time. Like some bands actually changed songs.
No, you just stuck with it.
I kept it. Yeah, I'm only going to give them one song. So if we do another contest, I'll give them a different song.
Well, that's on your EP. Like I know you've got it somewhere around within striking distance. It's the one with the whale on it, so people can actually. Oh, look at that! Wait, oh, he's got one right there. Look at that! Isn't that clever? Yep, there's Frank Biscotti. Now.
Yep. And John Windsor did the artwork.
That's cool.
Shout out to John. Yeah, all acrylic on.
I got one of them.
Yeah, they're fun. But yeah, that's the title track. That's people call it my anthem, or the Philadelphia song.
Philadelphia, yeah.
But eventually I will redo that whole album and I will do a live band, 10 song, so I'm going to write 5 more eventually. And then instead of it being an acoustic album, it's going to be, an actual LP with a full band, maybe a 10-year plan,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You put
No
it together.
rush.
No, there's no rush. No rush at all.
rush.
However, there is a rush for. We're gonna go to break, I guess.
Nice.
We're gonna go to break, and then when we come back, we'll have our special guest star. So we will catch you guys in a couple minutes.
Stay tuned. Well, hello, hello, hello. Monday night, Delco After Dark. You got Frankie Carl, and now we're bringing in Zach.
Hey.
What's up,
What's going
Zach?
on, everybody?
Hey.
How we doing?
Good, man.
Living the dream, guys. Quarantine, looks like it's almost over. Could come back. Who knows?
Yeah,
Playing it
we're
by ear.
yeah, looking good, man. You need a little bit of
Yeah.
get a little bit
I
of
need some-
haircut.
I need a haircut and some sun. Go down to the beach or something,
Oh, the beach is nice. Love the beach.
I got a sick farmer's tan.
No shit, you're all.
Were you working outside?
Oh yeah, I did the landscape. I've been killing it, man. I've been killing the quarantine life, unemployed life.
The
Give me
unemployed
some of
life.
your color.
Oh man,
Give me
yeah.
some of that life.
Oh, pretty bad.
That vitamin D.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you. I mean, I think we met at Red Iron Pub, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Is that
Yeah,
Your
Red Iron
knowledge?
Pub.
Yeah.
I was a rookie, and I was just getting out there. It was me and the boys, beekeepers.
the Beekeepers?
That was,
Yes.
That was fun.
Okay,
that
now
was a
we're
good era.
now I'm refreshing some memories. Carl, were you able to get out to the Red Iron? You got out there a couple.
Oh
times,
yeah, I
right?
played out there a couple times. Tom Curtis ran that open mic, didn't he?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it was a fun little place. That used to be Central Park before it was the Red Iron Pub.
And years ago, it was, at least that whole community or whatever was the Alpine Village, I think, motel or hotel. Like we're talking like 30, 40 years ago. That's why they look like little Alpine villas.
Yep, and that's when I don't know what I think it was like Corvettes or Septembers or like
September's. Yeah, you're
Yep.
absolutely. That used to be
Best
back
Buy.
when I delivered mail. That was part of Route 27. I would go up once from Woodland Avenue. I'd go up all one side of Baltimore Pike and then do Bishop Avenue and then come all the way down the other. And it was September's right next to the Alpine Village or whatever it was called. I forget the actual name.
But yeah, that was a cool little. It didn't last very long. It was like maybe like 3 or 4 years they had that open mic. But it was a solid time.
It was a short run open mic, but there was so much talent there. Frank. I met so many great people there. It really, the metaphor. Your wings grow. That's where my wings really started to grow. That was there
Yes.
at Red Iron Pub.
Yes,
playing in front of like all the drunks and all the, all the good people there.
Yeah.
So it was a
Oh,
good
yeah.
time.
Oh, the
Yeah, like
food
a
was
little-
good too.
Little built-in
Yeah.
crowd. Yeah, it was great.
I
little
just remember
place.
I was a kid, I wasn't even 21 yet, and they were like, "Yeah, you can play some songs," So that's kind of how I got my name out there. And then I'd go to the bars and like, "Oh, you play there? Okay, you're all right. You can get in." That was when I was still starting to play live. Before I even had a name or anything. So that was awesome.
Yeah,
great
it was
exposure.
Beekeepers days. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay,
still
cool.
play with James and Matt. We're Dex now, Dex Music Collective. So I've been doing, jamming a little bit, getting in the studio, trying to get a new album out.
And that's Dex. It has a few X's in there, right?
Yeah, it's 3 X's actually.
Triple X.
It's explicit.
Nice.
Jim
Inside
Cunningham
joke.
says that he got Tommy the Red Iron gig. I don't know if he's serious or not, but that's kind of
Yeah, that's Phil Farrow's bar. He's a bar restaurateur. He has another restaurant out in Chadds Ford. But that's his. Not anymore. Actually, now, I mean, what happened to that place is it got bought out by an Indian family. They bought the restaurant and they bought the hotel, and they couldn't figure out how to run the restaurant. They tried to. It was an American pub, and they brought in Indian food. For God's sakes, I mean, that's a clear sign of, oh shit, we're
The worst
really,
part is, it's ironic. They kept the name. It's
right.
still, Red
American
Iron Pub.
and Indian
Yeah.
food. It was like, oh, what the hell's going on here? So the
Mhm.
restaurant went away, and it had a beautiful patio. It had those 2 brand new doors that they put in with the air that blew on you, so like it didn't let the outside air.
It had a
inside air
patio?
out.
Yeah,
Brand-
they
brand
just
new.
renovated it right before they
Wow.
closed down.
Gas
Like they
fireplace
put all
is
their
called?
money into it apparently, and,
And,
yeah, they had a gas fireplace out there. It was nice.
Well,
some whole
they
smoking
sold
area.
They sold the place with the patio. You know what I mean? So the owner that did all that work, he got his money, and it's just that family, the Indian family, couldn't figure out how to run the place. Unfortunately, the restaurant died, and I know the hotel. I don't know if that was the one that had a lot of heroin overdoses and like drug overdoses, or that could have been the Alpine.
Well, I
But,
mean, the executive.
it got
So it
shut
was
down.
yeah,
It got
there's
shut
the executive on the one side and the Alpine or whatever that was called.
Yeah, they got. I mean, yeah.
It's to my knowledge, all those motels are really shisty on
Mhm.
Baltimore Pike. That little strip there. I think they closed them down actually during Corona.
Well,
Yep.
they can't
That's
all be the
one of
Raven.
headline stories. But yeah, the Ravens, the belle of the ball.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
looking at the shitty motels.
I heard they're going to
Top
build
five
one
worst
where
hotels.
what? I heard they're
Top
going to
five
build
worst hotels.
I heard they're going to build one over on where's it we played, Frank, that we had to chase down the guy for our money. Generations. I heard they're going to build a little hotel over at Generations. So.
Oh yeah, they've been saying that, you know. But I mean, if you're on State Road there, it's Jack's Tavern,
Yep.
the old State. You know, they're established. That place, it's still going to be, you know, a what if, you know.
Oh, it was a good room. Their little pub room on the side. I mean, I played there a bunch of times with what was his name? The Full Throttle, Big Daddy and Full Throttle. Remember those guys?
Yes, yeah, Daddy said so.
Daddy says so. No, that's it. Daddy says so. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I played there 2 or 3 times. It was very hit or miss. I mean, they weren't close together, those dates that I played, but you know, that place was kind of, I don't know, it didn't have a, you know, it wasn't like the Red Iron Pub. I played at the Red Iron Pub so much. And, you know, my family lives in Springfield. It's for Delco. It's like central, you know, it's like having a place of media, you know,
It's convenient. Yeah. Mhm.
central to everything. So, Zach, where are you living right now? Where are you based out?
So I'm still in Springfield. You know, I
Nice.
grew up in Briarcliff, moved to Springfield when I was in like middle school, 6th or 7th grade, and I've been here ever since. And rumor has it we might be moving to Delaware, me and my buddies.
Nice.
But that's still, you know, rumor has it nothing's in stone yet. So that'd be a pretty cool experience. You know, living on like a farm in Delaware or something, would be pretty cool.
Like a
Yeah,
farm,
slower lower.
like chickens and sheep and stuff.
Yeah, apparently it's like a big corn farm. There's a big cornfield, and
That's
there's
pretty
some
cool.
other stuff growing out there.
Nice.
And I think they have some horses, and there's like a go-kart rink or something. You know, I'm
I
not the
love go-karts.
person in charge of that, but yeah, apparently there's like a whole thing. And then if we do get the house, we're having like a big, you know, little music gathering. So definitely get you guys on the invite list for sure. You know.
Nice. Yeah, Briarcliff. Yeah, I grew up in Westbrook Park for the first 3 years of my life. I lived in media, and that's where I met Carl. Was you know, through the coffee club in media. That was like my little. You were probably 2002. How old were you in 2002, Jack?
I was 5 years old actually. That was a
So-
whole different.
Look at
I
that,
wasn't a
Frank.
musician yet, you know.
Look at that, Frank. You're becoming me. You're like, oh my God, I got T-shirts older than this kid.
Well, Sonny.
It's true. You know?
Yeah, so, yeah.
But it's
So-
funny, a whole different generation, you know, and we're still in the same community, like doing the same thing, like the same amount of, you know, it's just awesome. Music, loving.
Yeah, you find something in common, man.
Yeah.
Music is like a language. You know, I can't speak
Really is.
Spanish very well, but I speak music pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm fluent in Spanish, but I could say I'm alright in music.
Nice.
Michael Scott. But yeah, how's it going, guys? How's your weekends?
You know, things happen.
I
Carl,
heard you had a
Carl
little
fell off
accident
his
there.
bike. Yeah, Carl fell off his bike.
Yeah, I
might
took
have seen
a
it.
tumble.
Car fell into a car fell into you or something?
He's so peppy, I'm gonna die!
Yeah, I hit I might have hit a car.
Uh,
You should see the other guy. Yeah, I fucked up my knee, and I pulled some muscles in my right side, and I either need a cane or walk with an old person's thing. But I'm pretty fucked up actually. But the meds are great.
Well, as long as you're alive, you know,
I know,
it
right?
seems you can podcast, so it seems you're functioning.
The whole
That's a
time.
good-
The whole time, all I was thinking of, I've got to be able to get back here to Delco After Dark and do this show. It's the only thing that matters.
no, you weren't. Please get the hell out of here. I
What's
saw that post and I was like, at least he's, you know,
alive? Yeah.
enough. Yeah, you know. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it looks, but believe me, it looks worse than it is. Hey, I got a number. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Frank, what's that number? What do you think?
I don't know. Like I don't know, 5.
There you go. There you go.
This is
All
a little
right.
bit of a different show without Scandal. Where the heck is that guy?
Yeah.
Where's
Oh, that's right. We got a call. He called in sick. Well, not so much sick. He just took a personal day. Apparently, he's hanging out with some ladies, or he's at a I don't know if that's plural, and if so, you know,
He's a ladies man. Ladies man. Scandalicious man.
kudos to you.
Well, you know, that little sideshow. We got tonight's top 5 brought to you by Delco After Dark live stream. Thank you guys. We got,
Cool.
you know, let's ploy for sponsors here. we got top bands. Zach, I don't know if they did that on the last show with you, but we're going to do your top 5 bands. We're going to give you a minute, Carl. Scandalicious, ladies man.
Yes. Also, look out for Scandalicious. He's going to be doing once more a cooking segment with us later in the week. It's going to be spectacular.
Nice.
I believe he did mac and cheese before, so this time I think it's going to be steamed water or perhaps dolphin nuggets or cougar eggs. I don't know. Actually, no, he's a vegan, so it'd be or is he? What is it they call?
Vegan nuggets. They got those, I think.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I signed up for this thing called Purple Carrot, which I'm not sure why it's called that. I call it Turquoise Dump Truck, but it's like so it comes to your door every Monday with like 3 or 4 meals in it, and it's all vegan. And I'm not a vegan, but you know I can eat vegan once in a while. And everything that comes out of that thing is spectacular, and it's also nice that they like really walk you through it as if you've never cooked before. So.
I like his cooking segments, so it should be nice to see
yeah.
Scandal. Yeah, I saw him using his. He was using one of your tabs for one of his songs. He was playing "Psycho Killer," just to see.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Because I remember I handed out those tabs to you and Mike and Lisa and Mark. I think because you know I've had that book for years and years. And I think you were. Was it you that was playing?
Yes.
Was it Blue Cars or what? I can't remember what song.
County
it was.
Blue Cars.
Yeah.
I did a little Dishwalla. Little 90s set earlier, but
you can always tell my tabs because I cheat the living shit out of it. It's like, wow, GCD again?
Capo Zero.
Oh.
A harp. All right, so back to genius.
Go ahead.
All right, back to reality over here, guys. Top 5 bands.
Who's
Zach
going
Chat.
first? I go first?
Yes, we gave you time. You got this. You got the mic.
Yeah, I already have it in my head.
Nice.
So 5 being the like least like is it influential bands? Is it greatest bands? Like what is the consensus here? What are we saying?
Just like
Best
what
bands.
would you put in your top 5? Like
Okay, my personal
could be
top 5
influential, famous.
best bands. All right, so we're gonna go 5 Beatles. You know, wearing the shirt actually.
Oh wow.
It's backwards.
Could have
Dyslexic.
guessed that one.
Yeah, you know, I don't play any of their songs at all. But we're gonna go with number 4, Stones. You know, because those guys, they've always been clashing back and forth, and their songs are just so powerful. You know, you guys brought up Wild Horses. You know, Sundays. They're you know, look at them. You know, they did an amazing version of that. And we're gonna go number 3, so it's right in the middle. We're gonna go with Linkin Park. They're like that, like my generation's
Wow.
like last hope of like.
Wow.
You know, a little different. They
Curveball.
really helped me when it came with learning music and like confidence of like singing and like writing. You know what I mean? Like those guys are really awesome. Number 2. Let's see. We're gonna go with Zeppelin. I remember in 2nd grade, so they're gonna be number 2. My teacher, who's your favorite band? I said Led Zeppelin. She's got, you know, Miss Poole. She's a big stoner, you know, big stoner teacher. You know, back then you have no idea. She's really into Led Zeppelin too. You know what I mean? Those guys are number 2. Number 1, I'm gonna go with not a band, but he had several bands. Richie Havens.
Wow.
He's the best one in my mind. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd play guitar the way I do. His music just spoke to so many different souls. Like he opened for Woodstock. You know what I mean? Like so many different things. Like he learned Dylan songs, Joni Mitchell songs, helped them write songs even. Like his life was. Without him, folk and music really wouldn't be what it is. People don't really look at him. They underlook Richie Havens as a influential artist. So that's my top 5. Top 5.
Nice.
Yeah. Who's next?
Oh, I think. I mean, I'll go. I mean, we've covered this on our side
Yeah,
before.
we've done this.
Oh,
all.
you guys have done this.
Yeah.
But so I'm just going. I'll just rattle them off real quick. It's Yes, Marillion, Alan Parsons, Susan Vega, and then the oddball is probably, and I always forget to do them, so I'm adding this time is XTC. I love XTC. That
XTC
sounds
is great,
terrible.
actually.
I need water and a
No.
binky. I love XTC. Yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're actually not bad. I heard a song of theirs on Weeds. It was the song "Dear God,"
Oh, dear God, spectacular song. Yeah, that was produced by Todd Rundgren. Yeah.
and it was the bridge. I think it's like the bridge that I would call it. It goes into like that G scale, like that G chord, and like that was like, oh, the song's fucking cool as shit. You know what I mean? Like the structure of it,
You know,
everything about the song is just really good. And that's what really turned me on to them. I said, oh, let me check out some of their other stuff. And their deep album tracks are really good too. Like they're just written really well and produced well. So
The thing about Dear God, because that happened to me exactly the same way, except in like '88, I was in I was in Sam Goody, which was a store that you would buy music in.
I was -9.
I was -9, and it was in the Granite Run Mall. I don't know if it was Sam Goody, but it was some music place in the Granite Run Mall, lower floor, and Dear God came on the overhead, and it was one of the guys like up at the front just playing whatever he thought. He was a college kid, so he was playing basically progressive music. And I ran up to the front and said, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's Ecstasy." And I grabbed the album that day and fell instantly in love with it. Yeah, I love Ecstasy. How about you, Frank? What you got?
For bands, I like,
I know one of them. Can I guess one of them? One of them's Guster?
I mean, Guster's a very good songwriting band. I would put them in like a top 10 maybe. I like
10.
I know, right? I like, a lot of 90s alternative rock, listen to Y100 growing up. I listened to Weezer, Nirvana,
right.
Stone Temple Pilots, stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of influence from that, but then also a lot of like classic rock influence from like the Zeppelin and the Hendrix, because that's what I learned. It was like when I picked up my guitar, I got an electric guitar first before I got my Martin.
Really?
And,
I never knew that.
Yeah, and a Squier Stratocaster. Yeah. And then I bought a Fender Stratocaster, and then I bought the Martin. The Martin was my glass guitar, But just growing up, learning a lot of 90s rock, a lot of classic rock, because the licks in classic rock were like awesome, And the 90s rock stuff was cool. I like a lot of grunge, and a lot of that, Kurt Cobain stuff. That was. I should play a Nirvana set. I'm thinking of all these theme sets that I want to play. But Zach, what kind of music have you been? I know you've been saying you've been learning some new music. What have you been up to in terms of new music?
So of course, I've just been diving deeper into the realm of like that post-Beatle era. Like I did How Do You Sleep pretty recently, and like that was like one of those songs where I was like, oh, this song has like a lot of drive to it. It's not a song many people know. It's not a big hit either. But I just like to learn songs that are more of a challenge. Has a lot of different structure in it. There's a bit of reggae in that, the strumming. It's off of Imagine, John Lennon album. And then I've been learning just like different stuff. Like I heard a pop song on the radio. I was like, oh, I'm gonna start. I listened to that a couple of times and start like learning it in my head. So I've just been like trying to branch out with music more. It's been helping me write a little bit. Like I've been writing a lot.
Good. Yeah, that's
the best.
Awesome.
The best part of it, when you learn stuff, is that you bounce off of that, and it helps you, with the emotion and everything with writing. Because they're natural processes. My first appearance on Delco After Dark, it was before Top 5. Had no format. We talked about like songwriting. For just branching back for that conversation, it's more of their natural thing.
Yeah, I think you were one of the first guests we had, pretty much. Like you and Mark, I think, were like 1-2 or something.
Yeah, it was like the third episode or something. You guys didn't even have this cool little background you got. I'm looking at it on my monitor over here. You got the little Dad 2020 host.
Carl's been really hooking up the production, but hey, we got a lot more coming at you. We're going to come up on a little break here. So stick around. Zach, we're going to have some more questions for you about some music stuff. So everybody hang out and put what you're drinking. What are you guys sipping on in the comments? Anybody sipping on anything good? I'm drinking some Upper Darby water.
With that's you. That's with a U and a silent P. Water.
Yeah.
Not purified.
Put in the comments where you're where you're sipping and what you're sipping.
Yeah.
Where you're sipping from.
Please share. All right, we'll be right back.
Hello, owls out there, hoot hoot. You got Delco After Dark.
We're
Carl,
back.
Frankie, and Zach. How you doing, guys?
Hey, Frankie, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking over to break the oasis of Delco quarantine open mic, and just how amazing, how big, how positive, the whole just like it's like going into a nice playground. It's like Disney World almost. It's like Disney World.
It's
Open
so opposite, and I say it all the time. I want to keep saying it. I've been online and I've helped run like gaming clans and moderated that kind of stuff, and the vitriol and the trolling you'll see on those sites is just like a level above everything else. I've done that since like '93, and this is the most supportive, most everyone's really wants everyone else to succeed. I've never seen anything like it. It's when you first come here and you want to play and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to play, and people are going to shit all over me, and no one ever does. It's just so nice.
We've had rookie musicians. We've had musicians that have been on The Voice. We've had people that have won like Grammys or written songs for very famous, artists play on the page, and it's all the same response. It's, great set. I love your song choice. Your originals are flawless. Like everyone on here is just so talented, and it's nothing but talent and positivity on this page. It's what we really strive for. We have people that post some like edgy memes and like political controversial stuff about what's going on right now, and for the page we don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead and talk about it on your own page.
Yep.
I'm sure there's another group out there that's dedicated for that.
There's plenty of space for that anywhere else.
It's just
And
meant to be a
that's where you
distraction
take
from this
that.
stuff. Yeah.
And lately you see a lot of artists posting on their statuses, me especially, just peace and love. Love the ones that you're with, because right now it's just such a negative time. Of course you have to be supportive and everything's going on with the protests and all that. I don't really want to get into that. But however, you still have to give peace and love to everyone around you. You can't just be like, all right, you don't agree with me? Well, fuck you. I'm not talking to you anymore. It's like, hey, look at their perspective and just get peace and love. What would Ringo do? Peace and love. So that's all we've been doing, and it's great.
Oh, Ringo.
He's the best one. He gives on his birthday, says, I don't want anything. All I want is everyone to go out around noon, around lunchtime. Just put your hand in the air, just say peace and love, and hug your neighbor. And that's the kindest person alive. What the hell, So.
I love Ringo's appearances on The Simpsons as a sideline.
Yeah, he just sort of shows up.
And Family Guy.
Marge was in love with him, and she like painted pictures for him. Then he became like a recurring character on the show. Like you see him like pop in on certain episodes. Family Guy especially too. And they have like, oh, we'll put it right here in the refrigerator, Ringo. You wrote another song, So it's really funny, to see that, the culture icons for especially like, people my age who might not even know who the Beatles are, which is a crazy thing, but it's true. People they're like, oh, Paul McCartney, the guy that was on Kanye West's song in 2015.
You crazy Gen Zers.
Yeah, so it's just appalling to me almost that, as people my age especially aren't really giving peace and love. They aren't really spreading that positivity. So that's really what this page and, music is all about, really. So let's keep it going,
It's been a lot of fun. I've been hopping on where I can. I like to do the theme sets now. It's, it's a nice outlet. And like I've been telling people, it helps me remember what day of the week it is, like, oh man, I got a gig,
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part about it. And, you see so many different acts, especially like when you do the theme sets, like you do like the 90s stuff, you do like original sets, that's really cool. I kind of just do it on the spot. People really plan it out, and it's like a part of their week, and it's like a really big thing.
Makes me practice something, makes me focus on some music for a little bit, because normally when I'm playing out, I'm playing my really polished stuff. When I'm playing on the open mic, I'm playing some stuff that's like practice material. It's not quite 100% performance level. So, but it's fun. I get to I've been experimenting with the sound now. But now that we're going,
you have the mics and stuff set up now. I saw you have like more production value towards your sets, and it makes it sound so much better. Especially you guys were talking about earlier, the Facebook bugs, technical difficulties. If you have a good production setup, you have less experience with that. So
Yep. I feel like they'll probably favor your video in the replay algorithm as well if you have some high quality audio and production and stuff like that. So
I've been diving into Instagram Live. You can do like a whole series, and they let you go for an hour at a time. It's actually pretty cool. I called it Insta Jams. I thought of something on the spot.
saw
you know?
that.
Pretty
Saw
fun.
that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, just instant jams. There was no pun intended. And it was just a good time. You know, it's a little nicer, but you could actually promote your video in the algorithm if it's a good enough video. It's like your resolution needs to be this. It needs to be this certain brightness. You know, so it really
Interesting.
dives deep into Facebook's algorithm. What I know Biscuits brought up earlier was
yeah.
how the vertical videos too, especially like the nicer the video looks, the more Facebook, you know, the more comments and likes you have engaged, the more it'll pop up on other people's feeds. So.
Yep, there's a lot of tricks, and they change their algo up a lot, just like Google. I used to do before I got laid off, I was a search engine optimizer, so I would fix people's websites up so they show up first on Google, and it's all the same. It's all the same shit. It's all tech. That's just, tech and music is what really speaks to me. So this is like setting up the sound and getting it, all the nerdy stuff that we do, Carl.
Yeah. That's what the three of us really have in common. We're all like nerds when it comes to like computers and production, video editing,
gear.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
Gear, wiring. I remember I worked for my school district, Springfield School District, climbing through ceilings, run a network wire. I was the only one small enough to fit through the ceiling, So like, tech goes all the way back to music. It's great. Best of both worlds.
Well, now with Pennsylvania going green, and less people being in quarantine, what does this mean for? What does this mean?
What does this mean?
That's the impending question.
For the DQOM, like I just had a little Dr. Seuss moment there.
Yes, that is the impending question. We have people every day. So what's going to happen? It's quarantine's almost over. Well, we have one side saying, well, Corona is going to come back and it's going to be bigger and stronger than it was before. Be very careful when it comes to social distancing. It's code green. Still got to be careful. Don't go around and kissing your neighbors because it's over. You still social distance. So I'm going to say that, emphasize that, not just to keep the page going, but because it's important. And then secondly, people are still doing gigs at bars outdoors, and then they'll stream it with their set simulcast while they're playing in public with
That's
their
awesome.
phone to Facebook. Riz has done that a couple of times. Chris Grunswald.
And I saw Tom's too. Yeah, I saw Tom's. Yeah.
Tommy Boy's done that. Mm-hmm.
And Sammy Vile did it from that place in Plymouth Meeting. So yeah.
Yeah, he had him. It was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Tauscher and Stein. It was like a whole little lineup of people.
I don't think it was Tauscher. I don't know that other guy, but that's a guy that they.
Tauscher?
No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
That's another guy. I'll figure out later.
Thank you for correcting me. Fact check that for us, or in the comments.
It's a different guitarist.
If somebody was there or witnessed it and wants to put it in the feed. But that was really cool. It's not over yet. Still got to be careful. The page is still engaged. You'll still have, engagement. You'll still have people posting their stuff, going live. What we're thinking about doing, now I probably shouldn't say anything yet, but after this is over, and we're not doing the schedule every day kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do like a schedule like once every other day, or maybe just go live when you please, because it went from like our little region to like 16,000 people or something. So I'm sure, we'll be doing like go live as you please kind of thing, or like, we're going to ease into it just like Pennsylvania is. We're a community. Go back to that peace and love. We all got to stick together in this.
I like that idea, and I hate being stuck to a schedule in quarantine. Like I get nervous sometimes when I'm thinking about I got to play at that, if I could just like socially distant fest, or like, that quarantine karaoke, those pages that have like hundreds of thousands of followers and people are just live on there all day long.
Dude, quarantine karaoke's got 600,000 people and they're in Maine. That's more people than are in Maine.
That's insane.
And there's some crazy stuff on there. Yeah, I got to get a better tripod. That's the one thing I'm working on, is getting the right camera angle. I'm using a music stand, the one that you bought me, Carl.
You still got that? Holy shit.
And it's got like my phone charger. I mean, it's so rigged. I got to get a little tripod. That would be like my next. A little light ring too. You got to get the light that's like the refrigerator light. You can change the color as well, so you can get the right light on your video. But once you get your production up, people will engage with your video more. They'll look at it more. They'll they'll look at it for a longer frequency as well, I think.
Yeah, it's we all have that short attention span. Play those songs that people know. Like my tips to a rookie artist would be play the songs you know. Try to like speak to your audience. Facebook is going to pop up where one person's watching. That is not true. There's at least 8 or 9 people watching. It's a bug. Right now it says 11 for us. There's probably more than 11 people watching.
Oh, that's
It
interesting
just
to
says
know.
11.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that eyeball is very misconceiving, and I notice it brings down a lot of people's confidence. Don't look at that eyeball. That's my big tip, because there's more than one person watching. People are going to watch after too. So play your
Definitely.
heart out. Play like
It
you're at the
is-
Hollywood Bowl.
It is interesting because you go back like we're going to finish up in a couple minutes and we're going to look at it. And it's going to say 230, 240 views, and I just don't understand the algorithm how that happens. If people click off, click back, I just don't understand it.
So a view is if people click on it. I believe it's if it's a click engagement. So then they click on it and they see it for, I think it's at least 5 seconds on Facebook. I know every website it's different. Like YouTube, it's instant. You can boost your videos. This is another tip. If you're a rookie artist, if you just keep hitting F5, one view, now you're at 1,000 views. You're like, holy shit, this guy has 1,000 views on this video. He must be doing something right. You know what I mean? So they might have changed that over the years. I'm not sure.
We got to play. We got to do that one night. We got to have just play a game one night and have everyone just hit F5. Like everyone that's watching us hit F5 all night and see what it does.
Interesting.
And then back to that, playing live on the page and just keeping it going. Keep going. Even though it's almost over, go live on your own page. Share it to the page. We're happy to see it. I try to tune into as much music as I can. On top of my schedule and everything I've been doing on the side. And then on top of my music and the page itself, we all got to keep it breathing. We have a beautiful dream team. We have big shout out to Mark and Mikey, Tara, Brenda, John, and even Patty, the creator of this awesome live stream. So yeah, we have a great team going. So we're going to keep spreading that peace and love.
Well, you can't end any better than that, probably, right, Frankie?
That was pretty good, man. I like it.
Sounds good to me. It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah, likewise, man. It was good seeing you,
Yeah.
Jack. Thanks for coming on last minute.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, keep me in your thoughts. Stay engaged, and we'll message each other and jam sometime soon. We're in green now.
Definitely. I want to do
Apparently-
some in-person jamming, but I definitely want to be safe about it. Definitely want to be.
Oh yeah, you got to be safe about it. Sanitize everything.
Sanitize everything. Oh, that was
Lights
one
on
question I
shotgun.
was gonna bring up. I heard people talking about open mics out in the real world. Bring your own mic. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't hear it specifically here, but you heard that, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I pretty much was like, whoa, what's up with these? People are sharing a mic. This is sketchy.
Yep.
Because we all know mics are stinky. If you're sharing a mic for an open mic, it smells like the stale beer.
Spitball. It's just a spitball.
All.
Ball of spit.
Yeah, so the bring your own mic thing could be good while we're in this green phase, because we'll still be social distancing, and it's kind of a loophole because now we're not really sharing the mic. We don't have to wash down the mic, just plug it, turn it off, unplug it, plug a new one in, turn it on. So
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be a learning process. Big
yeah, it's
time.
like a scuba diver. That's how I've been looking at it. When you're going back on if anyone's ever scuba dive, when you scuba dive, you have to go out of the water really slowly, so you don't, get vertigo and your blood doesn't rush your head, and too much pressure from being under the water for so long. Because you go out really slowly, and that's what we should all be doing right now. Is just taking our time with this. No one should rush into anything. I heard a lot of bars are open indoors. Still be cautious. We don't know. People could still be carrying this.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
a lot of
man.
people are getting infected from going to the bar. So it's like, I haven't done that quite yet. I have seen a couple people, but we're, I always try to social distance, we don't touch each other. We don't get too close, but
Yeah, I've had a couple get-togethers with some friends that I haven't seen, during this quarantine, but still social distanced, and so that was nice. Haven't been out anywhere really besides my house and a buddy's house if I was there during the quarantine or whatever, or a girl, whatever's going on, and so yeah, still gotta stay safe.
definitely.
All right. Stay safe, Delco.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that was a successful Monday night show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And your comments and likes and shares. We appreciate it. Zach, thanks for joining us. I'm sure we'll have you back
You're
on.
welcome. Oh
We'll
yeah,
have you back on another time.
love to be here.
We only scraped the surface. We only touched a little bit, So
The discussions the three of us could have, we can go all night,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to be a guest on the show, hit me up in my DMs. Anybody that's interested, want to come on as a guest, we'll talk. We'll get to know you a little bit, even if I don't know you. If you want to be a guest,
Oh, that's actually the best. It's a total.
Yeah, that's always cool. You guys had the one guest, I forget the name of the person, but you guys didn't really know her well, and she was like there. I think it was Lisa actually, and Lisa was like so excited to be on the show because she didn't really know anyone from Delco at the moment.
and now she's our best friend. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now she's like one
Yeah,
of
in
the
fact,
best
she's,
engagers. Her sets are amazing. Her 80s stuff.
Let me. Oh, what was that? Let me plug. I think she's playing July 4th over at. You can look up her page. She's on the 4th. I think Mark's playing July 11th over at the Tiki Bar or the Red Lantern. I forget where that
Yep.
is. But,
Yeah, he's
I
in
played there
Glen Olden
before.
somewhere. I think Red Lantern.
Oak Avenue.
It's on Oak Ave? Yeah.
Yep, it's right by Oak and Chester almost.
Right in the old hood.
yeah, I'll be at both. If I can walk, I'll be there hobbling, saying, "Hey, people, it's good to see you." All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's call it, guys. Thanks for tuning in Monday night.
Love you
Peace and
guys.
love, everyone. Love you all.
See you on Wednesday when our guest star is perhaps you. Ooh.
Whoever. Ooh, you. Fourth wall.
Perhaps you. Like, figure it out.